What's up? What's up? What's up, my mind your money business folks? Is me yet again with another video on today's stock market news. And as always, hopefully you're in the market and not trying to time the market, because that is simply impossible to do. So it says here in the news, it says the Dow, S&P 500, NASDAQ jump amid trade war lull. That means it's pulling back, with flurry of earnings on deck. So let's see what happened. It says the U.S. stock stepped higher on Monday as Wall Street kicked off a packed week full of high-profile earnings and a delayed release of key inflation data. The Dow Jones Industrial Average climbed 1%, while the S&P 500 gained 1.1%, and NASDAQ led the way higher, rising over 1.4% as Apple stock surged to a record high on strong iPhone 17 demand. Wow. Okay. So markets are setting aside a laundry list of worries to focus instead on earnings season, which shifts into high gear this week. Hopes are high with reports from Tesla, Intel, Netflix, and Coca-Cola leading the highlights in a busy roster. On Monday, eyes will be on Zion's Bancorp's third quarter results due after the bell. The region's lender disclosed of bad loans linked to fraud last week spooked investors with concern about U.S. credit quality. Ouch. So a lull on the trade war front also provided solace. So that means they're pulling back, right? Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said relations with Beijing have de-escalated and said U.S.-China talks are set to resume this week in Malaysia. Okay. So on Sunday, President Trump listed the top issues for the U.S.: rare earth, fentanyl, and soybeans, in a sign the White House is continuing to soften its stance. That raised optimism that Trump's promised 100% additional tariff on Chinese imports set November 1st may not come to pass. Meanwhile, the U.S. government shutdown, that I'm a part of, has entered its third week. We're supposed to get paid this Friday, and we're not. With Democrats and Republicans still at odds over federal health care subsidies. It's interesting, they're at odds, right? But they're continuing to get paid, while federal employees are not. Economists warn that a prolonged standoff could dent near-term GDP growth, though most see any slowdown as likely temporary. The federal stoppage has slammed the brakes on inflation and job data key to the Federal Reserve decision-making. Maybe this is on purpose. Maybe not. But the Bureau of Labor Statistics is set to release September's Consumer Price Index on Friday, delayed from last week. The data could prove pivotal to the Fed's rate path as policymakers enter a quiet period ahead of their two-day meeting next week. So Wall Street was also assessing the fallout from a major Amazon AWS outage Monday morning, the ripple effect of which took platforms such as Robinhood offline. Yeah, my Fire Stick didn't work. The cloud giant underpinned services for a swath of top company, and users reported disruption at websites ranging from United Airlines to Reddit. AWS operations are slowly returning to normal, the Amazon unit said. Yeah, and that's it for the market, people. That's it for the market. And just like that, things are returning back to normal, I guess. Or not normal. Things are just the way that they are, but hopefully you are investing. But let's see what happened to some key stocks. So the Information Technology ETF, FTEC, gained a nice $2.87 today, closing out at $226.80. Broadcom, hold on, let me refresh this, actually. Okay, that's right. Okay, Broadcom lost 9 cents today, closing out at $349.24. Palantir gained $3.44 today, closing out at $181.59. Tesla gained a nice $8.12 today, closing out at $447.43. Nvidia lost 58 cents today, closing out at $182.64. SPLG, an S&P 500 ETF, gained 81 cents today, closing out at $78.97. Yeah, so it's like those steep losses that we got hit with last week. The gains are slowly but surely coming back. Like, not all of my stocks were in the green today, but some of them were. And so overall, I made money as a whole within my portfolio, and my portfolio is still up over 40%. So yeah, I'm also thinking about generating an ebook on investing, budgeting, so on and so forth. What do you think? I don't know, it's just a thought. So yeah, get out of debt, people. You have to get out of debt. You know what I noticed, and something that I plan to put in my ebook as well? In high school, well, in middle school, high school, we're taught nothing about money, about investing for ourselves and appreciating assets. When we go to college, we're not taught anything about investing into the stock market or real estate. In grad school, we're not taught anything. For your PhD, for law school, you're not taught anything about investing. What we're taught from elementary school up until whatever degree you plan to get, your PhD, your triple masters, we're taught to be smart, go to school, get an education, and then come work for us. But in that process, you're not taught anything about money. So what do? You get into a ton of debt when you go work for these corporations. And when you work for someone else, you're no longer in control of your life. And there's nothing wrong with that. Not everybody wants to be a business owner. But I'm just saying, it seems like it's purposely done when it comes to not being taught anything about money or finances. But you dig yourself into a lot of debt. You can't drink at the age of 18, but you can go to college and sign these federal loans for hundreds of thousands of dollars and be in debt up to $300,000 just to get your medical degree after you're done, or your lawyer's degree, so on and so forth. I think you get the picture, right? So it's not until later in life when you learn about investing, and by that time a lot of people are beat down. They don't have the money because they're in debt. So that's why I'm telling you, you need to get out of debt and you need to start learning more about money. And the way that you do that is by cutting your expenses, living below your means. Start reading articles, start educating yourself, start reading books, start listening to things like this and other podcasters or YouTubers that are putting out similar information about investing, the truth about money. How do you make money? How do the rich make money? The rich don't go to work. The rich own the businesses that we go to work at or to. However, you understand what I'm saying, right? They own these businesses and we work for them. They don't work as hard as we do. You know, when businesses need to cut expenses, they cut people. So why don't we do the same in our lives? Start treating your life like a business. There are certain things that you don't need, so you need to cut it away from your out of your life. Stop going to Starbucks. Stop eating out. Start saving more money. Start making your coffee at home. Start making your food at home. Get rid of some of these subscriptions that you don't have time to look at or pay attention to. Find ways to cut money. I guarantee you, if you go through a budget, you will find hundreds and maybe $1,000 of money each month by cutting some things out of your life that are not needed. So you need to create a budget, and that plan will help you gain riches, right? You need to invest. So I'm going to end that there. So like, comment, subscribe, share this video. Let me know what you think, if you think anything at all, because that's what I'm trying to get you to do, is think. Mind your money business. Where's your money going, people? Stop counting other people's pockets. Stop resenting other people. Stop trying to live like the Joneses next door. Stop worrying about what's going on television. It's just a distraction away from you and what you need to be focused on in your life. Oh, disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor, nor am I pretending or trying to pretend to be one. So please consult with a financial advisor before you invest any of your hard-earned money, because any and all information on my channel and my videos are for entertainment purposes only. So please consult with a financial advisor. All right, so you guys take care. Have a blessed day. Peace.